Hi, it's Stacy from Families with Grace, and today I'm talking about the reality behind in sickness and in health. So, a couple of weeks ago, I was sick. It wasn't horrible, awful, I wish I would die instead sick, but it was miserable. So, I went to bed early, and soon after, I started having body aches and chills, and those two symptoms are a bit intensified thanks to my fibromyalgia. By the time my husband came to bed, I was feeling quite awful. I got up and put on a second layer of PJs and grabbed an extra blanket. Even though I was exhausted, it took me a couple of hours to finally go to sleep. And one of the things I do when I feel this way is to rock back and forth in bed gently. And I don't even realize that I'm doing it most of the time, but sure enough, I was. And it was a long night, but I made it. The next day, when we were getting ready, my husband said that he hadn't slept very well, and I thought he had just had a restless night, which sometimes happens to him. So we went through the day with me taking copious amounts of ibuprofen because we had an event to attend for our son. That evening, my husband asked how I was feeling. I told him I was feeling better, which was true. And then he confessed that the reason for his bad night's sleep was my rocking had kept him awake until 1 a.m. when I had finally dropped off to deep sleep myself. I told him he should have woken me up and asked me to stop because I don't even realize that I'm doing it and I didn't want to keep him up. His reply was that he knows that's what I do when I don't feel well, and so he didn't want to bother me. Instead, he chose to have a crummy night of sleep. He gave me grace that I needed because I wasn't feeling well. But here's the thing you need to know about my husband. That man has been through such a long list of health issues with me. He has truly loved me in sickness and in health, and sometimes much more sickness than health. In our 19 years of marriage, he's seen me through 3 minor surgeries, 3 major surgeries, 2 childbirths, and countless other health struggles. And he has been patient. He has driven me many times to a specialist in another state 4 hours away, just because he knew I needed to see that doctor. And in fact, he's the one who even encouraged me to go to the specialist who I thought was too far away. Along with that, he's also picked up my slack more times than either of us can count. He's gone grocery shopping, made dinner, bathed the kids, helped with homework, and rearranged his schedule time after time to take over when I didn't feel well enough to do so. This man has sacrificed his own happiness and well-being on my behalf innumerable times. Yet, when I was sick with just a bug and I was keeping him awake, he didn't complain once. He could have. It certainly would have been justified after all he's been through with me. Instead, he kept his promise to love me in sickness and in health. He didn't even tell me what had happened until I was feeling better. He keeps on giving me grace and understanding instead of selfish irritation and frustration. Is he perfect? No, but neither am I. Has it always been this way? Not completely. While my husband has always been loving and understanding, we had to do our fair share of work to learn to communicate well through sickness because it's hard managing chronic health issues in a marriage. We were only 3 years into our marriage when my health took a dramatic turn. It brought along with it some emotional issues for both of us that we've had to work through in order to truly love each other in sickness and in health. And now here we are. I don't know how you'd ever put this on a Valentine's Day card, but this is what true love looks like to me. Marriage and love are so very many things beyond big romantic gestures and heart-shaped boxes of chocolate. Those things are awesome, and I don't mind them. However, it's the little stuff that makes a love story. It's being awake half the night because your wife is rocking herself to sleep and not complaining about it. It's taking care of dinner when the thought of it has her in tears. It's walking the kids into school on a blustery morning so your wife can stay warm. It's encouraging your wife to not settle for second best when it comes to her health. It's being there every single day and choosing to work together. It's understanding that compromises are sometimes necessary and laughing together should be a priority. The vow to love each other in sickness and in health doesn't even begin to explain the depths of what that means. They're easy words to say, but they can be difficult to live out in reality. Love is about action and sometimes putting the person you love ahead of yourself. And that is always worth celebrating.